and welcome to the Pedaling Prince's Podium. I'm your host, John Ardelli. Welcome to the first episode of the Pedaling Prince's Podium. I'm your host, John Ardelli. A lot of you know me on welcome. When I first started this show, the only camera I had was the one built into my computer. My only plan was that the show would take the place of my traditional blog. Instead of writing about my thoughts and feelings, I'd talk about them on camera. However, it quickly became apparent that a show of me just sitting there talking is pretty limiting. So I bit the financial bullet and got a camera. I had no idea how much that simple decision would change this show and my life over the next year. From the beginning, I really wanted to have my girlfriend Marie Stewart on the show. She has been the single best thing to come into my life since high school, so I was anxious to introduce her to everyone. It started with Life with Marie, a compilation of clips we recorded using the computer's internal camera back in 2009. She also appeared on the following episode, Talkin' Trash, where we talked about our pet peeves about recycling. Then we got the camera, and we actually worked together on the following episode covering Velo Cape Breton Bicycle Club's season opening banquet. It was then that I first discovered Marie's innate gift for composing and framing shots. Ever since then, I've encouraged Marie to work with me on the show. Her videography has appeared in many episodes, most notably the Podium's most popular episode, Spring Beard Trim. Since then, especially in the summer, we'd take the camera pretty much everywhere we'd go. I love it when Marie's on the show, because every time she's on is another chance to say to her and to the world, "Love you, I still do." In the early days, I spent a lot of time covering events related to Velo Cape Breton. I don't ride with them much anymore, mostly because I can't afford the maintenance a bike requires when you take it on frequent long trips. Still, it's a great club that's accomplished a lot for cycling in Cape Breton over the years. I'm delighted that the Podium helped give Cape Breton cyclists a voice, particularly for important causes like going the distance for diabetes or the Ride of Silence commemorating cyclists killed by motor vehicles. Besides, doing videos for them helps keep me in cycling without driving my bike down to its last bearing.
No, I can't get that.
Probably my most important cause this year was Madeline Bishop. Madeline, an elderly lady, lived alone, and this was a problem because she was barely capable of getting to her feet because of health problems. She'd had several falls. So I launched a campaign on the Podium to help her get into a nursing home where she'd be cared for properly. The response was amazing. People contacted me from all over offering advice and support. And this story had a happy ending. Madeline finally found a room in the very home where her own mother lived. Another thing the Podium spent a lot of time on this year was tourist attractions in Cape Breton. We did pieces on Wentworth Park, Sydney Harbour, Two Rivers Wildlife Park, the Cabot Trail, even on the Newfoundland Ferry MV Highlanders. However, by far our most successful tourist attraction segment was on Jost Heritage House. It's hard to explain exactly what Jost House is. It's part ornithology, part history, part botany, and part human nature. Marie Eileen Cerule, manager of Jost House, was so impressed with our completed episodes that she had me use our footage to create a virtual tour of the house for handicapped visitors. This was the first time that anyone had ever actually asked me to make a video. Besides that, she's also used the Jost House episodes of the Podium to promote the museum online. A teacher in California even used them to teach her class about colonial history. This was the first time I started to realize that the Podium was starting to become something special. Best friend of almost 24 years, Robert Martell, is with me today. He just moved. But for me personally, the best thing to happen this year was when my best friend of 24 years, Rob Martell, moved back to Cape Breton after 14 years of living on the mainland. Even better, Rob, his wife Lisa, and his mom Flora all hit it off wonderfully with Marie, so we all spent a lot of time together this past summer. In fact, they helped make Marie's birthday something really special, helping me put together a full party for her, more than I ever could have done on my own with my limited money. Rob and Lisa have made many appearances on the Podium. In fact, they helped make possible our segments on Two Rivers Wildlife Park and the Cabot Trail. Hopefully, we'll cover even more of Cape Breton's beautiful tourist attractions this year. Of all the shows I've done on the Podium this year, however, the one that's gotten the most views in the shortest time is the Orchard Music Scam. It had 178 views in just its first week alone, and now it's approaching the 1,000 mark and climbing. The show was an exposé on Orchard Music's infamous habit of making false copyright claims against royalty-free, public domain, and Creative Commons licensed music all across YouTube. Every day now, that video attracts more comments from other YouTube users who've had exactly the same experience, and this is exactly the effect I was hoping it would have. Looks like the Orchard's bad apples are finally getting their juice squeezed.
I don't know what you've been told.
During the time the Madeline Bishop campaign was running, I happened to be walking down Charlotte Street and saw a picket line that turned out to be a creative ad campaign for an amazing candy store, the Time Machine Candy Works. They had some great stuff. I still have 3 atomic fireballs, an incredibly hot cinnamon candy I got there. Unfortunately, Time Machine Candy Works closed several months later, and they haven't been able to find a new location. I'm still hoping they'll be back eventually. Then I got a little frustrated at the condition of the roads around here. To my surprise, they finally did some repairs on many of the roads I was talking about. The only problem is the repairs were only just completed less than a week before winter began. I only hope that the repairs will survive the snow. Of course, like any other show, the podium has had its share of trolls. They went by names like Robert B., One Cool Chick 67, Jessica Drinkwater, Lloyd Osmond Jr., and I found the best way to deal with trolls is to challenge them head-on in the show. Trolls seem to scurry away when you drag them into the glare of the spotlight. All in all, the podium has been a great success, in many ways a much greater success than I had hoped. I'm looking forward to see where I'll take the podium, or perhaps where it will take me in 2012. Thank you for watching the Pedaling Prince's Podium. I'm your host, John Ardelli, and I hope to see you all again next week. Bye for now.